Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Sunday service for August 15th. If you are willing and able, please have a bell and a chalice or candle nearby so you can partake in some of the service elements this morning. Today, we are going to reflect on a piece of poetry and practice deep listening with one another. Remember, this is not a discussion, but a mindful practice to listen to and hold space for those who wish to share. I am here in our sanctuary with a few members of our congregation, while the rest of you are on Zoom as we navigate this journey of doing blended services. We will be together for the beginnings of the service, but when the time comes for listening and reading, we will remain here in the sanctuary, separate from all of you on Zoom for the remainder of the service. Our featured poet today is Nancy Boudelier. Nancy is a fellow Unitarian Universalist, a 1984 graduate of Harvard with a degree in English and American Literature. She has backpacked throughout the world. She is a professor, a columnist, the bass player for the band Backbone, and has 2 published poetry collections. She wrote the poem, My Geslamani, which you will hear today, after Thomas Merton, who is described as an American Trappist monk, writer, theologian, mystic, poet, social activist, and scholar of comparative religion. As we get started this morning, I would like to thank everyone who made this service possible. It is lovely to share this time with you. Please keep in mind the service is being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube page. And Clyde, if you will bring up the next slide to let everybody know on Zoom that we are going to start, we are going to do our bell ringing. So when we do the bell ringing, you're going to want to unmute yourself when you ring your bell, and then mute yourself again when the bell ringing is done. So unmute yourself, and with the sound of bells, we welcome stranger and friend to a time of mindfulness. Okay. If I look at who else is here. Thank you all for the lovely noise this morning, for the lovely music. And now we have Annette, who is going to be singing our welcome song. Annette?
Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you love, we welcome you.
Thank you so much, Annette. Next, we will have our opening words this morning from Dan Harper. I have found my spiritual disciplines, walks in nature, deep conversations, reading ancient and modern scripture, love, or they have found me. And now Annette will help me with our chalice She will light the chalice while I say these words. As we light this chalice, let us set an intention to be with each other wholly as we share this time and space together. Blessed be. And now we are going to have our covenants, our universal covenant and our bond of union, and Dixie is going to lead us in those.
We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. We care for the earth and for each other. And our 1898 Bond of Union, we unite ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the growing thought and noblest lives of humanity, believing that we may thereby prove helpful one to another and promote the cause of truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
And for our offering, you can see there on your screen, if you would like to mail a donation to the church, the address is there. If you would like to donate online, the information is there. And please make all checks payable to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Erie, and make sure to indicate on the memo line what the donation goes toward, whether it is your pledge, a little extra monetary gift, the food pantry, the bail fund, etc. Okay, so next we are going to do a centering, and Annette is going to help me with that. So the centering activity is taken from our hymnal, number 446. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you'd like. Drop your shoulders, take a deep breath, and meditate on these words. Spirit of the East, spirit of air, of morning and springtime, be with us as the sun rises, in times of beginning, times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures. Spirit of the South, spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of the day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. Spirit of the West, spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. Spirit of the North, spirit of earth, of nighttime and winter, be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. So now I'm going to do a reading of a poem. As I mentioned earlier, after the poem is read, we are going to go into smaller groups on Zoom. And here in the sanctuary, we are going to have our own group. So after the reading of the poem, we will have 2 separate services going on. And as I read this poem this morning, allow it to take you somewhere and pay attention to what kind of feelings it brings up for you. That's what we'll reflect on in our groups, if you feel so moved to do so. My Geslamani by Nancy Boulier. The sun is safely up after its lovely encounter with the horizon's blue-red haze. One by one, a rookery worths of egrets have found their way to the day's hunting grounds. 14, 15, on and on. 20, 30, I lose count as they vector off across this living map from their nightly church at a nearby pond. They've flown with such rectitude. They must have known they carried the world on their feathered shoulders. Here, beneath them, you can rest assured that the sea made its way fully and on time to high tide, rippling gently across the grassy shore. And I want to rest in this order of things. This is, after all, a harbor where gulls and swallows share the shallows and osprey dance with one another and dive a little further out. But I can't deny the rumbling surf beyond my view, rising, dropping itself, crashing with excessive force all along the mortal coast. I want to believe, like the monk, whose faith rests so firmly on his song, his ancient chanting that holds the world as together as it is amid this turmoil and keeps us all from pitching headlong into some even worse abyss. Oh, that I could be so sure that these birds, this marsh, today's sunrise, can somehow cure the waves of crush and burn, that the tide itself can sound out a rhythm to call us all back from the volcano's rim, just long enough to glue the broken pieces, to stitch the torn, and to feed the hungry, to give us what we need to carry on. With that, we will be leaving you from the sanctuary. Please enjoy the rest of your time together.